लेक्चर्स में हमने देखा मेंटल स्टेट एग्जामिनेशन क्या है और साइकोलॉजिकल असेसमेंट में इसका पर्पस क्या है। इसके लिए हमने सीखी एसेप्टिक टेक्निक। एसेप्टिक क्या है? एक एक्रोनियम है ताकि मेंटल स्टेट एग्जामिनेशन में हमने जिस चीज़ को असेस करना है हम उसे फिंगर टिप्स पे याद कर सकें। एसेप्टिक में हम क्या रखेंगे? याद रखेंगे अपीयरेंस एंड बिहेवियर, स्पीच की टोन, रेट, वॉल्यूम एंड क्वालिटी, इमोशंस देखेंगे, इमोशंस में मूड एंड इफेक्ट को आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे, देन परसेप्शन, उनकी थॉट्स कैसी हैं, थॉट्स की फॉर्म कैसी है, कंटेंट कैसा है, पोजीशन कैसा है थॉट्स का, देन उनकी इनसाइट और जजमेंट को चेक करते हैं एंड इन लास्ट हम उनकी कोग्निशन को भी असेस करते हैं। अब ये सारी चीज़ें अगर आपने असेस करनी है तो आपके लिए एक केस स्टडी होना ज़रूरी है ताकि आप इस चीज़ की प्रैक्टिस कर सकें कि आप इन चीज़ों को एक पेशेंट की कन्वर्सेशन में से किस तरह से आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे। इसके लिए मैं प्रेजेंट कर रही हूँ आपके सामने एक केस स्टडी। उस केस स्टडी को आप ज़रा गौर से पढ़ें और इन सारी टेक्निक्स को एक पेज पर लिख लें या कॉलम बना लें इनका, और उस केस स्टडी में से आप इन सारी चीज़ों को आइडेंटिफाई करें। होपफुली यू कैन डू इट। तो बढ़ते हैं केस स्टडी की तरफ। ये है हमारे पास केस स्टडी। इस केस स्टडी में से जैसे आपको बताया कि आपने मेंटल स्टेट एग्जामिनेशन को सामने रखते हुए इस केस स्टडी में से चीज़ों को एक्सप्लोर करना है कि कौन सी चीज़ कहाँ पे फिट होती है एसेप्टिक टेक्निक में, और आपने सेप्टिक फार्मूले को यूज़ करना है। एंड डेलीगेट दिस केस स्टडी टू ईच सेगमेंट। दिस इज़ अ fictitious case and I tried to add something to each segment just to demonstrate how an MSc would look like. अगर आप मेंटल स्टेट एग्जामिनेशन कर लेते हैं और आपको उसे रिटर्न फॉर्म में लिखना हो तो भी आप एक केस स्टडी इसी तरह से लिखेंगे जिस तरह से ये लिखी हुई है। लेकिन अगर केस स्टडी आपके पास गिवन है तो आप इसको प्रैक्टिस के लिए भी यूज़ कर सकते हैं कि आप इनमें से डिफरेंट मेंटल स्टेट्स को किस तरह से एग्जामिन करेंगे। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट। हियर आई एम रीडिंग दिस केस स्टडी फॉर यू। लिसन केयरफुली, और इफ़ यू कांट लिसन देन यू कैन रीड केयरफुली. Mr. Dove, 45 years old, arrives at your practice and is concerned. He is about 175 centimeter and weight 90 kilograms, and he is limping from his right leg as he mentions that he is still painful from the work accident. He looks well, neat and tidy and has a nice clean shave. During the consultation, he would stand up and sit down several times while clutching his fists and in anger. Most of the consultation he spoke calmly, clearly and had good eye contact when doesn't talk about his work. Everyone now and then his tone and volume would fluctuate. His thoughts were logical and made sense. However, he did repeat his idea of suing the firm he worked for a few times. John denies any suicidal feelings, but he did mention that he feels not worthwhile and felt isolated in the workplace as he had to leave his old workplace to a new one due to an accident. He feels that the accident at this previous workplace was entirely the officers in charge's fault. John denies any hallucinations or illusions. After a large number of uneventful details, he finally confesses that he has been a problematic employee and colleague. John feels hopeless as he feels that this situation will not be able to sustain himself and his wife when he retires. He speaks a lot about the failure of his retirement funds, which has been making him feel low for the past year. While asking about his family relation, he mentions that he has not been the best father and sometimes finds himself crying at the thought as he regrets some of his actions. Upon asking where he is, his full name and surname and what day or month it was, John managed to answer all the questions successfully and seemed to be alert and oriented. John does display poor concentration and his processing was slow. When asking to remember a few things, he seemed to struggle to remember certain events. He says he usually remembers these events quite well. He admits that it is essential to see a GP and speak about his issues but doesn't take any responsibility for the problems happening in his life. After this case study, what you have to do? You have to write down the aseptic on a piece of paper and try to remember what each letter stands for. When you are doing this for the first time, just remember the title and try in figuring out which description would go into which section or which segment. Did you manage to fill all the segments correctly? Was there any overlapping description that you felt should go into more than one segment? Are you practicing more often? And if you will practice more often, you will start to learn more about each segment and their description. To this date, I have yet to practice on a real patient as I believe it can be quite difficult to ask the right questions at the right time and manage to write everything down. My dear friends, one thing for sure is that my psychology rotation on YouTube is definitely going to be interesting, exciting, and challenging. If it's so, then don't forget to subscribe the Eastern Psychologist, like the video, share the video, and press the bell icon to be updated. Now, what's the conclusion after learning all about aseptic technique? That you have to remember the structure formula. You can create a quick and thorough detail of your patient's mental state. It should be intuitive and flow logically. Technically, a presenting case should be way longer than this, and the mental state examination is pretty much the size of the case above with all sections put together. As I mentioned before, the MSc should be done every time you see your patient so that you can compare and progress, whether positive or negative. But it is not to say that MSc has to be very detailed when the patient is coming in for a sore throat. However, during the consultation, you can always be aware of the basics and make sure to make notes of that. For example, how was the appearance of the patient, his or her speech, did he or she seem oriented, were his or her thoughts flowing logically, how is he or she feeling? Every time you have to observe these basics. Next, we will talk about the 4 P's. Till then, bye.